everybody. Welcome back. Question the answer.
Welcome back.
Christine here.
Oh, we're introducing ourselves again. Meghan.
I didn't even have a title for this one.
I don't either because it's kind of a mismatch of topics.
I actually like the first word you have, which is like what the f.
Yeah, I mean, but then I also have flying spiders.
Let's hear.
Because
can we open this story?
Yeah.
Let's just start with it. Because I really wanted to open with like a clip today.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything. The only one I could actually find was the reporter where the bird like dive bombed her head.
What?
While she was waiting to go live, but it wasn't long enough and it wasn't funny enough. So,
well, there's some news
parking-lotted.
circulating. Where is this video? Oh, here it is.
What are you gonna do when TikTok goes away?
You mean what are we gonna do?
Well,
because
you're all TikTok. I'm a YouTuber right now. The YouTubes.
Oh, you do have all the YouTubes. Mine are all Instagram, but then they're TikTok clips in Instagram.
Look how she's standing.
Yes, because she's delivering the terrifying news that there's a giant venomous flying spiders coming to New York.
In journalism school, is there a class of like posture?
Not that I took,
Oh, okay.
but I was more on like the writing side.
Oh, okay.
Than
You mean real journalism?
well, back then maybe. Yes, but I'm sure there's a whole class on. I mean, I had to do like a lot of public speaking.
These people they know
Yes.
how to pivot and move.
and their looks.
Smile and talk to the camera and then talk to their buddy.
Yes. Well, unfortunately for us New Yorkers,
This is in New York?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's a
that's
matter of when, not if. These venomous spiders are coming our way, and they're terrifying. They have 4-inch long legs, and they can basically fly through the air.
Gross.
Okay? So we're just going to listen to this lady.
I thought bees were scary.
No, get ready.
This summer. Look at these guys. They're large yellow black critters.
Look at those
They're called
things.
Jarrow spiders. They're originally from Asia, but since 2010, they've been spotted in nearly a dozen states between Florida and Ohio. They're expected to arrive soon in the New York area. They fly on the wind by shooting silk threads into the air, and get this, they have 4-inch long legs.
Can you imagine just seeing...
They're expected to arrive soon?
Yeah.
And what, a migrant bus? I mean,
They fly. They fly.
A migrant bus. Once
Get
again,
ready.
Thank you, Asia.
Welcome to New York.
I'm confused. These are scary looking.
They're terrifying.
Do they bite? Probably.
They do. So I love the headlines were all cracking me up because when you look at anything, it's like venomous spiders coming to New York. And they are venomous. But apparently, according to a couple articles I read, if they were to bite a human, you won't die. But
I can't even stand a bee in the room.
I
with
can't
me.
even stand looking at a stink bug that's this big. This thing is huge looking.
So when are they supposed to be arriving? And
that should be any time now.
They this is like Spider-Man shit. Like, so they just shoot a they just shoot what did she call it? A string?
So what makes
silk web?
I can tell you right now. What makes the
Like,
Jarrow
shut
spider
it.
different is its ability to fly using a technique called ballooning. Where they release silk threads in the air, and it allows them to be carried by the wind.
Ballooning.
Yes. So look out. Stay in your house.
This is gonna be like the next TikTok challenge for kids. It's like, can you balloon? All right.
Who's going to catch a Jarrow spider?
Not to mention there are lots of different colors. How do you spell that?
The spider?
Yeah.
Joro.
Joro.
Yes. Yep.
Gross.
Yep.
Why are they coming here?
No
because
clue.
it's an election year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because everybody's coming here right now.
But have you seen, not so much here, but the cicada videos?
Yeah.
Of them just infesting everywhere.
Yeah.
People can't even get out of their cars
Ugh.
without like being dive bombed by cicadas.
There was a restaurant somewhere in Rochester that started serving cicadas.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing videos like catch and eat a cicada. Are you
I don't eat bugs.
mental?
I don't eat bugs. I have no interest in eating bugs.
This is where we're at. We're cooking up cicadas.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it for money. In fact, you remember what was that show where they used to have to do all those crazy things?
Oh yeah, I mean there was
What
a
the
ton
hell's
of
that show
those.
called? Anyway, the part where they had to like eat bugs, I had to turn
Oh
off.
yeah.
I'm not into that. Like
It's too much.
it's
Stop.
unnecessary.
No, next we're gonna be like, learn how to make your own silk shirt from the Joro spider. Like enough.
Oh, maybe that's possible. Maybe we can put them to work. I mean, they are from Asia. We can put them in a factory.
For minimal pay. Anyway, so that's, I like to start out on a positive note. So that's that.
Japanesey spider. It's from Japan.
From Japan.
Not China.
Not China.
Okay.
Japan. So I just had a couple other nice little clips here.
Disgrace.
So this video, it was in Connecticut. The Democrats voted against flying the American Blue Line flag to honor fallen officer Aaron Pelletier, who was killed in the line of duty. But don't worry, because we still are allowed to have the pride flag hanging. So this was...
It's the dangerous job that they do every day. Out of respect for the tragic death of State Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier, we won't be raising the pride flag today. It's already up on the pole at half-staff.
Really?
In honor of his passing.
It was a pride ceremony today at Wethersfield Town Hall, Governor Lamont in attendance. The flagpole at the center of the controversy. At last night's council meeting, Councilor Rich Bailey requested the town fly the American Blue Line flag in honor of TFC Aaron Pelletier, who was killed in the line of duty. Town council voted it down. What does the Blue Line flag mean to you?
Represent racism and antagonism to many, many people. And even if you don't personally believe that and you fly it at your own house and you think it means something to you that's much more positive, it's just not how many people feel about it. It's not appropriate to raise over our town hall, especially when our flag policy prohibits us from doing anything associated with hate.
But it's okay to raise a flag that indicates how you have sex.
But raise that flag. Raise that pride flag.
Why would they put her interview on? So I'm sorry. What was the service for? Was it for pride or was it for him?
There was going to be a service for this fallen officer, and there was a council meeting about wanting to put the Blue Line American flag on the flagpole, and they took a vote, and people voted no.
And because this cupcake says it,
yes,
it's racism and
it means violence and racism and
it
hatred.
does?
Doesn't it to you? I mean,
it does,
doesn't it?
Weird.
But as long as there's that pride flag, then I feel pretty good about it.
Side note, I think they have absolutely ruined the pride flag with the black and brown colors.
You mean like the look of it?
The look of it.
The aesthetic of it?
For clarification purposes, when you add black and brown into the colors of the rainbow, it kind of dulls it.
Good.
And I don't understand why. Anyway,
there's the pride colors, and then they added the black and brown for race, and then they added the transgender colors, which is like a light pink and a light blue.
Black and brown are for race?
I believe so. And
no, it's for the plus. I
saw this other clip on Instagram of this man, that was definitely all together there mentally. He had a new design.
Does he live in California?
He didn't have legs, but anyway, that's besides the point. He had a new flag that they were showing with all those colors, and then he had like a feather, like a double feather for indigenous people, and also identifying as two different spirits. He's like, we want to be inclusive every year and keep adding. I'm like, you guys need a life.
The flag is very complicated at this point.
Does anyone know what it really means? Or we're just going to keep adding
I didn't know the black and the brown was for race.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's what he was saying.
I thought it was for all these things we've had, like transgender
no,
and plus,
transgender is
plus.
like the light pink and the light blue.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, see, that ruined the flag too. And I'm speaking specifically aesthetic-wise. I just don't like the look of it
So you
anymore.
guys fix the flag. Make it prettier looking.
Rainbow was just
disappointing.
fine.
You would think that they'd have it more together than
Rainbow
that.
was just fine. A conglomeration of colors. I don't know why we need to add
because it's not just about being gay
It's not
anymore.
Then why do we call it the pride flag? This is getting so complicated at this point.
It's confusing.
Wait, while you're on that little subject, I had a video too because I love how the left eats the left.
Mm-hmm. If you give them enough time.
It's fantastic. So There was a protest in Philadelphia for the Pride. It was a Pride Parade, which Rochester, New York, it's also the Pride Month here in Rochester.
It's Pride Month everywhere. Yeah.
We have a big Pride. We have I don't know, why do they get a month? Why is it a month?
No one knows. They deserve it.
I mean, we're celebrating a month off of the basis of how people have sex. Thank you for letting us know.
Not the military member, no one else, just those people.
The Pride Parade is a lot of fun, though, here in Rochester. Anyway.
Never been.
The Pride Parade was going on in Philadelphia only to get circumvented by the anti-Israel protesters, and now you have left eating left. So
Can you imagine people like, what do we do? What do we do?
Well, they were none so happy. So here's a little video on left eating the left.
This looks like it's out of like a Step It Up movie. Drumline.
Yeah, totally Drumline.
Because they're like not stopping moving.
That's right.
And still talking.
And a mask.
Love the masks.
These people are like, we just want to celebrate how we have sex.
I just want to shake my ass.
You're ruining it. Isn't that great?
Yes. It just, like I said, give them enough time and they'll just start attacking their own.
People with nothing to do and all day to do it. Right there. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to a protest?
No.
Me neither.
I don't know.
Is it because we don't care enough? What would you protest? What cause would make you go out and protest?
I don't really...
Seeing how we talk about how pissed off we are about a lot of things in here.
I don't know if I picture myself like standing on the curb of a random plaza or in front of a building, holding up signs and yelling to the sky. I don't picture doing that.
Well, protests these days are a little bit different than protests in the dark ages. I was going to say in the old days,
back in the medieval times. Yeah, would you? Would you go to a protest?
I mean, I wouldn't skip a yoga class to go to a protest. I wouldn't skip my job to go to a protest. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Unless it was, I don't know.
Never
say never.
Never say never, I guess. But I can't picture, doing this.
He's a legal observer. What do you think that means?
Do you think maybe when they handed out the permits for these parades, they would have kind of figured out there was two parades in the same location?
Maybe they wanted it. Maybe they did this on purpose.
Wait a minute. Do you need a permit to protest?
You need a permit to parade.
One's a protest, one's a parade. So my guess is
But I'm sure these protests didn't start, haven't they been going on?
Look at all the flags now we've created in the world.
I know. It's wild.
When you're bored, create a flag. Once again, the brown and the black,
What's
just throw it all up.
Pinks?
Pinks?
What does that mean?
It's just
feminism?
For transgender women. Oh, feminism, my ass. Feminism's... Please, feminism.
I guess my thing is especially with this, like, what's the outcome? Like, what are you trying to establish here? I mean, I guess the parade, they're doing it to just be celebrating them and be prideful.
Listen, parades are
one
for
thing.
Fun. You build floats, you play music, you bang your drums. They're parades. You watch things go by.
I mean, that looks like a lot of fun. I'd bring my kids to it.
I mean, it doesn't look like any fun at all.
That's definitely family friendly.
Say that 5 times really fast.
Family friendly. But you know what's interesting about this, and I have another video along these lines, is so these people were anti-Israel, correct?
Well,
anti-Israel demonstrators. Okay. So then I saw another clip circulating online about it was again same thing. There was a drag.
Sorry, go ahead.
Queen for Pride interviewing or speaking to a protester. And he was kind of giving her a history lesson, and she's like completely clueless of what he's saying. And I thought it was very interesting to watch. So hold on, let me find it here. Okay, so this is a conservative drag queen educating queers for Palestine activist.
Would you say you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
Pro-Palestine.
As a gay man, I would be punished and or put in prison or killed if I were openly gay in Palestine. How do you react to that?
I didn't know that.
Well, first of all, look at the two of them. Look at the two of them talking. He's got like a little wand.
That's a lot of like frill and
that's commitment. It's Cinderella.
But does that 2-second clip sum up the world we live in?
That sums up most of the protesters.
The stupidity,
yep.
the absolute ignorance of these people is unbelievable.
Yes. It's just, let me join this because everyone else seems to be doing it and I want to be part of the movement. But you don't even know what the movement is.
I do love he has a wand.
It's Cinderella. Like, look at his outfit. It's...
How do they not know that? Half the people protesting...
But I find it interesting that these two individuals are having this kind of conversation.
Half the people protesting this shit wouldn't make it one day in Palestine with their rules.
Not one.
Not
1 minute. So, and then just to add another lovely pride video. Okay, so this person.
Speak.
This person out of a horror movie.
This human.
Was in Ohio. Oh, we were just talking about Ohio. This is what goes on in Ohio. They were protesting HB 245, which would prohibit drag performances for children. And I just want you to listen to what this person is saying.
I won't change your little town. Your own children will. Your children will see us. Your children will love us. And your children will join us. For kids, drag for all, drag wherever. Kids need drag.
Do they need drag?
I'm very color coordinated. Your children will see us. Your children will love us. And your children will join us. I say this loud. I say this proud. Thank you.
Your children will love us. Your children will join us. And they will.
It reminded me of Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. They'll join us. Like when he's in his science lab creating like.
We're like on the foothills of creepy right now. Like is that not level 1 pedophile?
This is what I need to understand. What is the obsession with these people and children? What is the obsession?
Well, I think you could ask a pedophile that question and they would give you a very disturbing answer.
But there are so many clips of similar things. Coming, drag queen story hour. What is the especially with the parents who bring your children to this? What is your what is it that you think this is so great for?
I don't think the children care.
The children don't care because they don't get it.
I mean, they really do. They just see somebody in costume.
It's
shaky.
How you can watch videos of children in front of drag performers who are half naked collecting tips in their thongs from kids and think, yeah, I want my kids to be exposed to this. This is great. You need help and you need to be blocked away. I'm sorry.
It is a good point. Why focus so hard on children?
Why children? Do what you want as an adult to adult audiences, by all means. But it's this thing with kids that's disturbing.
It's weird.
It's weird and disturbing. And you shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a child. Ever.
Meghan.
Okay.
Meghan needs to take a lap around the room. Oh,
it's true. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
It is a focus on children that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make sense. What else doesn't make sense is whether or not our president of the United States.
Keep going. It's a long week for you, honey.
You know what? It has been a very long week.
Get it out, girl.
Somebody help me. So Biden, where was he at? He was
Normandy. It's the 80th. It's the 80th anniversary of D-Day, which is the day that we started to take back World War II.
Yes. So go ahead.
No. By all means, you go. This is your day, girl.
After I was like, I don't really have notes.
But you do have thoughts. I know you've like 57 videos up there. I
don't have much today. I have like 2 hours worth of video content. Anyway, our lovely president of the United States was there along with the French president to welcome and honor veterans.
First and foremost, he was late. Once again, waiting on Joe Biden to wake up from his
nap.
An
Irish goodbye.
Forgot to shake all the veterans' hands.
Because we're not sure if he either pooped his pants or thought there was a chair. I mean, you can't make this up. Every day there's just a new thing. We're just going to watch him here with his lovely wife.
I swear he was squatting to go to the bathroom.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin.
I don't know why these clips are cutting off so short, but
he's so confused.
And then, so you can tell she's like saying something to him, and he's like still squatting.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that Jill can't be with baby Hunter Biden because she needs to be with elderly Joe because he has no idea what he's doing.
It's like, what are we doing? So then he gets, she takes him off of this area, out of this area. So then the French president is going to welcome all these veterans, and our president's nowhere to be found. And someone in the comments wrote about the French president, someone we can depend on.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment, and it's a disgrace.
Yep. There he is, Mr. Biden.
Mr. Biden.
Should make the debate go pretty interesting.
When is that again?
I don't know.
What's the first one?
I don't know, but
it's this month, isn't it?
It's in the end of June, isn't it?
June 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, I have it marked. June 26th. Although, once again, they've made all these rules and put both of these guys in boxes. Like, they're going to cut the microphones. There's no live audience. There's no this. There's no that. Jesus. It's like, just put two people on the stage and let them talk. Like,
yeah, let's see the reality of it.
Just let him be.
Right. So
let's talk about Mr. Trump. Let's move into Trump. Speaking of my
felon.
brain. You've had a long week, but I've had a long week where my brain just is like done working.
Yeah.
So Trump is guilty. He's a
34
felon.
charges.
But nobody knows what they are.
Nobody
knows what he's guilty of.
No one knows.
It's funny when you ask people like what is he guilty of? What has he been charged for? They really don't know.
They're like paying the hooker, the paying illegal money.
Okay,
what?
First and foremost, if paying off your side piece is a crime, then Bill Clinton is in jeopardy of the same.
Once again, where's the Epstein list?
I mean, it's Paula Joan.
Where's that list?
Her check.
Where's the list? What's happening with those people?
Nothing.
It's
different.
But we're going to go after Trump for something he did before, he was elected president.
So 34 counts he's indicted. I'm sorry, the indictment's over. He's actually been found guilty of, so he's now a felon. Dan Bongino came out with a new T-shirt that says, "I'm voting with the outlaw." And what's even more intriguing about this whole situation is the day the guilty verdict came out, Trump raised over $141 million.
Yeah, I think he's at $151 million, or it's probably more than that now.
For the National Republican Convention.
Definitely didn't go the way the left was hoping.
No, of course.
Backfired once again.
And this was really, really kind of messed up the way this went down. This was in New York, shocker.
Yep.
These jurors were kept. I mean, we knew everything about these jurors. The lengthy jury selection was all put out there for the public to see and know. There was even one juror that asked to be excused because her family had found out she was on the jury selection, his case, and she had to be excused for it because it was causing such an issue.
Oh.
Because people knew who she was.
Oh.
So it was handled a little bit different than the Hunter Biden.
Oh, it was?
Case.
I thought everything was supposed to be fair.
This judge is absolutely a joke to the justice system. And if you don't believe me, go back and read his comments. Look at who he's donated to. And when Trump's defense team got up to prosecute or to ask questions to the prosecutor's witnesses, which were bizarre to say nonetheless, he wouldn't even let them get a word in, or even Trump's witnesses. They couldn't even get a word in. Everything was objection and then sustained. They couldn't get a word in. Now, everyone's wondering if Mr. Judge, is it Merchan? We'll send him to jail. What do you think?
He's going to try. I mean, there's no way this guy's not.
I mean, do you think he'll push it off the edge? Or did they get what they want? It's really just a talking point. It's a soundbite. He's a felon. That's really all they needed.
I have a clip of the day that it happened. Every media stream you could think of, that was their first opening line. The felon. He's a felon. He's a convicted felon.
This is the legal system working, and this is how America is supposed to work. And I feel very happy for America. I feel very happy for democracy, because this is how it's supposed to work.
I'm shocked because I thought they actually wasn't going to find him guilty, because everybody else around him get found guilty, but actually he doesn't get found guilty. So I'm actually shocked that the verdict went the day it went. But again, just because he's found guilty, it doesn't mean that he's actually going to see the inside of a jail.
He's innocent. He's an innocent man. The media is not telling the truth. No, he's an innocent man. Those people, they didn't know what they were doing.
I think that people will see that he's being persecuted. It's so clear to the average person that he's being absolutely attacked, vilified. I mean, they've been doing it since he came down the escalator in, 2015?
So mixed reactions coming out of New York.
I think Trump he's obviously always had his following. He always will. But I think after this trial, I think it just gave people who maybe were on the fence or maybe even didn't like Trump, just the way that it was handled and went down and how unfair and unjust it was and kind of like corrupt looking. I think it led people I think people are fed up. They're sick of it. They don't want to stand for this kind of America. And I think that's pushing them to the other side.
I think the Democrats are playing a very dangerous game here. I don't understand why they would open the door up to elevating an expired potential misdemeanor to a felony by claiming it was to help another mystery crime that no one can define. It's just playing you are opening up the door for lots of other things to go down.
But I think they're scrambling.
I know, but the door's now been opened because that's how judges rule based off of other ruling and based off of this rule. You are opening up a very dangerous door because you can do it to the other side until it kind of bites you in the ass.
Right.
Well, I think there were so many strange rulings by Judge Merchan that
it's going to get appealed.
Even attorneys from the other side are saying, yes, it opens
has
up
to
so many appeals. And Trump is going to appeal this, but I think they're also waiting for the sentencing. And I think if he may just get fined, he's a first-time offender, he's 77, whatever. But if the judge goes after him in a more serious way, there will be an immediate appeal to stay the order. It may even go to the Supreme Court very quickly.
Yeah.
There's so many things wrong with the way this case was prosecuted. But at the end of the day, I don't think he'll probably give him a harsh sentence.
I don't think so either, because I know I think he understands he's already walking a line, and if he was to sentence him to something serious, then it looks like the kangaroo court it actually is.
Yeah.
So the sentencing is on July 11th.
Yep.
Shockingly, the day before the Republican National Convention.
Of course.
How convenient.
How convenient. Here's the deal. I think we're realizing people don't care he's a felon. People don't care.
No, we don't.
This is going to be really a lot of people on voting day. This is me and my crew on our way to vote for a convicted criminal. Yep. Like, meet you there, because no one cares. No one cares.
Can we get a flash mob going?
I mean, really.
Come on.
It's hilarious.
Great.
It's hilarious. But
I mean, you're absolutely right. I could care less.
Don't care.
I don't care about you paying off your side piece. I really don't.
Don't care.
If that's a crime, then there's a lot of people.
If that's a crime, then most of Washington, most of the people in these offices should be also behind bars.
Oh, 100%.
Are we forgetting President Clinton? Are we just going to be like,
Well, that was what I had here. I was like, then Bill Clinton is in jeopardy of the same treatment. There's Paula Jones waving her check.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Are we just we're gonna pretend that didn't happen? And once again, where's the Epstein list? What's happening with that? It's been crickets. Like, I'm sorry, no one cares. Convict him of more. I don't care.
Well, wait a minute. Before you move on, let's talk about the other indictments going down, because they're unraveling as we speak. So let's talk about indictment number 2, the classified document case in Florida. So do you know what's happening with this?
What's happening?
So first and foremost, Judge Cannon denied Jack Smith's attempt to gag former President Trump. But they can't even move forward in this case because the raid on Mar-a-Lago, when they tried to stage the pictures, they mixed everything up so bad. they can't even get it back together. They don't know what came from where. They don't know what was actually classified. They can't even put the case together right now because it got so screwed up because of the photo staging that happened.
I mean, that's just amazing.
Let's move on to the RICO case in Georgia. This is officially paused indefinitely because Fannie Willis, who slept with the prosecutor, is now also being sued for disqualification and SCOTUS presidential immunity ruling. So it's all over with because it's all unraveling because it's all crap.
Correct.
Fannie Willis one, it was kind of interesting to watch. Did you see her on the stand?
We talked about her.
She was pissed.
Oh, she was mad.
How dare
she
you?
Was angry. I just saw a clip last night. Someone was talking to 50 Cent. I think it was in New York. And someone asked him like about who he thinks black people will vote for, or who they like identify with more. And 50 Cent goes, I think black people identify with Trump because he's got those RICO charges. And then he like walked away. I'm like, that's hysterical. But yeah, I mean, they have nothing to stand on. And like you said, they're playing a dangerous game. Everything they're trying to do keeps backfiring on them and just makes them look more moronic than they already were.
It just gets the people that hate Trump to hate Trump even more. So,
but yeah, I mean, are we going to like speaking of unraveling?
So let's put this.
I'm sure you get this question a lot, but why did you endorse Donald Trump?
Well, you know, when I dropped out, my first choice went with me. But I said that.
Just listen to Whoopi. Watch her
face.
face.
The witches at this view are laughing right now, but Dr. Carson is about to silence these old hags.
You know, I was going to remain neutral, but then I realized that, you know, the political establishment was aligning to protect their turf. And they don't like the ideal of people who are not beholden to them and who cannot be controlled coming into Washington, D.C. And that was one of the reasons they didn't like me very much, but I was easier to get rid of than Donald Trump.
Sir, I hate to ask this question, but you have aligned yourself with the man who has bashed women, made countless racist remarks, and you're Ben Carson. Why would you align yourself with that?
Well, you know, you have to look at the good and the bad. There is no perfect person.
No, I know that.
But you know, you look at when Donald Trump first went down to Palm Beach area, and you know, a lot of the clubs down there would not accept Jews and blacks. He insisted on Jews and blacks and helped to break that open. So has he said some things that I wouldn't say or that you wouldn't say? Of course.
But he was also sued by the Justice Department in the 70s for not allowing black tenants into his properties, and he settled with the Justice Department, even though he didn't admit any liability, any wrongdoing. It's very clear to those of us in the law.
Now we know Prosecutor Sunny always has to make herself sound smart.
That means that there was something amiss, and it was a significant consent decree. So the notion that he is a fan of the African American community, I think is
well. I will put it this way: I have met a lot of his employees, including African Americans, and they have nothing but good things to say. Somebody who's hired as many people as he has hired, and you can find very few people who have anything negative to say. And then you have to look at his family. I always say one of the ways that you measure a person is looking at their children. And how do their children act?
Well, he's going to have a breakdown.
One's a big game hunter. I'm not thrilled with that.
Well, I mean, that's your privilege. But the fact of the matter is, you know, they have been raised very well. They're very respectful. And, you know, I look at a lot of kids who come from very wealthy families, and I am appalled at what I see. So there is no perfect person, but what I think is really the worst thing that threatens our nation right now is a political class, a ruling class, and they are so threatened by anybody who is not beholden to them, they will do virtually anything. And I think that's what's likely to
say that till the
destroy.
cows come home, sir. This guy is, I'm sorry, he's a racist, and he's not good for the country.
What's the alternative?
She has nothing to even back up what she's saying. And thank you, Joy, for your input. Your one little liner about, well, his one child's a game hunter. It would be better if you just never said a word.
I mean, the hypocrisy of this show.
Why is this show still on?
Well, what kills me is the applause happening in the background. Like,
because they have it pre-programmed.
She just doesn't like him. She just doesn't like him. I wonder if she's ever met him.
That's what I mean. You have people exactly like this who don't really have any clue of what's going on, but they just know they don't want to like him. Mm-hmm. And they will just stick with that no matter what.
So that's all really this did, is it just let Whoopi hate him a little bit more. Look at her face.
Look at her. You know who else is unraveling? Is Robert De Niro.
Why?
You know who else just really doesn't like Trump? And I'm hoping, I feel like he put himself into a stroke, but like this man,
was weird.
This man needs assistance.
On January 6th, while Republican lawmakers despicably tried to keep the loser Trump, in the White House, and Trump-inspired insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, brave men and women from law enforcement put their lives on the line to defend this country, our democracy. They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes. They stood and put their lives on the line for these lowlives, for Trump.
Like,
is he okay?
Where did he come from? What is he doing?
I wonder how much money they paid him to do that.
Is he hurting for roles? Like, what's going on?
I haven't seen him in a new role in a long time. It's too bad. He was a really talented actor, although he looks like a freaking nutbag here.
When one of those bystanders yelled something at him, called him a loser.
Oh, I feel like that clip wasn't the full thing. Hold on. I'll find it because I know there's like 1,000 of these clips out there. Yeah, people were yelling back at him and stuff.
Like agreeing with him or not?
No, I think calling him a loser.
Someone actually called him a loser.
Yeah.
He screamed out, "You're a loser."
I mean, that's embarrassing.
He looks a little unhinged here.
A little. Yeah. Again, these people get so worked up over just hearing the name Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. And it affects their well-being.
There's this story going around that Joe Biden has reached out to Taylor Swift to endorse him.
I heard that,
and there's
too.
something about how somebody's upset with somebody because she won't come out and like actually endorse him. If she
did before.
But if she's smart, she would stay the hell out of this and just sing her music and date her boyfriend. If she's smart, I wouldn't tie myself to that
I would stay out of it too.
Bones.
We'll see, because the last election, she was pretty outspoken. I think she even had like Biden cookies and stuff and was posting all these things.
Well, that's fine, but that's a very different Biden than we have today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that different.
I agree with you. She should just stay in her lane.
So, speaking of like the courtroom, there's another person in the court right now, and it's Schmunter Schmeiden.
I was just going to say, has it rhyme with Schmunter Schmeiden?
Schmunter Schmeiden. I don't know how I feel about Schmunter Schmeiden in court.
What do you mean?
I feel like whatever's going to happen, he's going to get pardoned by his father anyway. I don't know why the world wants to focus on this recovering crack addict who's had an absolute mess of a life.
Is he recovering?
Today he is. I mean, I don't know. He's keeping it clean for the court. But the only thing I want to bring up with this is I just want to show the opposing like situation of how the jury selection went down. Mm-hmm. So with Trump, you knew everything about these people. The jury selection was so incredibly intense. They even went all the way down to the point of like, what news stations do you watch at what time? You know, and if you watched Newsmax, then you were out. So, but Hunter Biden's jury selection has been very closed doors and private. Mm. We only know like a couple of blurbs about each jury member, excuse me.
I think it's dealers.
But once again, the media put out so much about the Trump jurors, but not so much about the Hunter Biden jurors. So here's all we know about them. Juror number 3 watches CBS TV News every night. Wow. She is a sister who struggled with drugs and currently is clean. She said her history with her sister would not affect her ability to be impartial and face the objections from either party.
Of course not.
Juror 5 used to work for the Secret Service in D.C., as did her husband. I guess wonder whose side they're on. Juror 16 gets her news from YouTube, the YouTubes, and hasn't really heard about the case. Bullshit. Juror 19 thinks that people
Wait a minute. They took a juror who hasn't heard about the case?
Yeah, just lives under a freaking rock, apparently. Juror 19 thinks that people who smoke marijuana should be allowed to own guns. Weed, to me, isn't as bad as other drugs. Juror 20 is a recent graduate who believes federal law enforcement has been affected by politics. Juror 38 said her family hunts and owns rifles, but she doesn't have any guns herself. She lost her childhood best friend to a heroin overdose, but claimed that would not affect her ability to rule in the case.
Of course it's not going to affect her.
Juror 39 has an older brother who has an addiction to PCP and heroin. What is PCP?
Some sort of drug. I don't know what it stands for.
See, we're good girls. We don't know all the cool drug.
PCP.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
So they were all in AA together or whatever. Drugs Anonymous.
His answers made it sound like the two were not close. So that's all you get. You have people with addiction in their life, some news stuff that they watch. That's all you get to know about them. That's
Perfect.
It. Is this going to be on TV, this trial? For Schmunter Schmeiden?
Is it? I don't know. Is it not?
We should start a movement.
It should be.
Can we change his name to Schmunter Schmeiden?
Schmunter Schmeiden.
And not Hunter Biden? Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see, how the judge is on that case. We'll see how it goes.
Just two very different processes going down. Very different processes.
But, we keep everything just and fair, right?
Can I go off the road for a second?
Sure can.
Have you heard of this individual named Pierre Poilievre? I can't even say Poilievre.
I have not.
He is Canada's token conservative, and he is fantastic. You've never heard of this guy?
What's he look
so
like?
Smart. He's trying to take over the prime minister from
Justin Trudeau.
Come on, AJ. This is where I need you to pay attention. Justin Trudeau. Thank you, Meghan.
I just said it.
Good job by you. What are you doing on your phone over there?
Not?
I was just checking and seeing if the trial was on TV.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Okay.
Justin Trudeau.
So Pierre Poilievre, I apologize for
I know a
butchering
couple
your
things.
name, did this interview with this person.
There he is. I don't know who this guy is.
He is very well spoken, very smart. He's being interviewed by this gentleman, and then just kind of schools this gentleman on these generalizations of questions he's asking them. So here's Pierre. Watch him just shout out.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways,
I don't really believe in that.
Okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so you must know somebody.
Okay. I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page.
Give me a page number.
In terms of turning things quite dramatically, in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
If I was his interviewer, I'd be like, I'm going to resign.
Is that not so incredibly accurate of what happens here in America? Like, he's just like, what are you talking about? What page?
No, it's like, if you're going to say these things to me,
Back it up.
Give me an example. What people?
What
page of the book?
He's just mowing down on this apple. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't understand because it's not a question. He's the guy is just pushing his political agenda.
Of course.
And this gentleman, Pierre, is just like, ask me a damn question. Stop
using these words and throwing them all together.
Generalizing this world of pages and people that you don't know about.
Yeah, because I'm sure this interviewer's goal from whatever company he works for was to paint this guy in a light that's unfavorable.
Sure.
And
makes you want to kind of go get an apple too.
I know, the apple looked really good.
Okay, so then I was like, oh, he's kind of great. So I would like to report I would like to report to the American people that the way they do their politics and the way they do, I'm thinking this is like what we would call like an open Congress, or I don't know where they do their question. It's just as chaotic as ours. Of course, the women don't fight, but this is a little glimpse.
No one's talking about each other's eyelashes.
Yeah, but this is a little glimpse as to like how this goes down in their government.
Stop the auto theft that has run rampant under this prime minister. He's now throwing a cape over his back, claiming that he's the hero on auto theft, but it's actually tripled in Toronto, and it's up by 100% in Montreal after he brought in catch and release and house arrest for car thieves, and after his incompetence allowed our ports to spin out of control and our cars to be exported to overseas crime and terror networks. Why doesn't he reverse his policies instead of another meeting?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, this is a serious situation. Canadians are concerned about this, and the Conservative leader just chooses to whip out his empty slogans and continue to blame everyone while we're getting to work. We're pulling together stakeholders and leaders from across the government from across governments to look at what more we can do. We've seen successes. CBSA agents have intercepted over 1,600 stolen cars last year in 2023, but there's more to do. We're going to continue to make the steady work and investments necessary to keep Canadians safe and to keep crime down.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Keep crime down. Crime is way up. Violent crime is up 40% under this Prime Minister. And today he had his ministers hold a big press conference as their solution. And in it, they put out a press release that said, and I quote, in 2022, approximately 9,600 vehicles were stolen in the Toronto area alone, representing a 300% increase since 2015. End quote. Wow. What happened in 2015? What happened? I know, he happened, Mr. Speaker. How can we make him unhappen and stop the crime?
That's amazing.
But I love that they can just like scream at each other in the middle of it's like
and then they sit down.
It's like that scene from Little Women where Timothy Chalamet comes in and he's like, oh, like, and they're like representing government. But that's how it goes down in Canada. But this guy's great. Like if you want to have some giggles, he's kind of like our Senator Kennedy. He just says it how it is.
Speaking of Senator Kennedy, the national treasure of America. He has to be one of my favorite human beings. Of course, I have a clip of him.
He's got the best one-liners on the planet.
And the best is when you watch him speak and you're looking at the guys behind him to see the reactions because you can tell they're just trying to keep it together until they get off camera. But he was making a comment in response to Biden now all of a sudden being very concerned with the border crisis and needing to take action.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So this is just Senator.
I thought it was the Republicans' fault.
It is. But now he's going to try again. He's going to try to really fix the issue. He's done with the Republicans blocking everything. Great. So this is Senator Kennedy's, comments about that.
Okay, I want you to listen up. Here's the drill. President Biden is in trouble politically. He's polling right up there with fungal infections. Part of the reason for that is that he gave in to the loon wing of his party, and he dissolved the southern border. Now, 5 months before an election, he has to appear to be willing to do something about it, hence this executive order. And he expects you to report this epiphany that he has had, take what the White House is telling you, balance it on your noses like trained seals, and report it uncritically. For 3 years, we have watched President Biden push on a door that has been clearly marked full. He's mismanaged Congress, COVID, the national debt, the economy, inflation, crime, Afghanistan, Iran, the war in Gaza, the war in Ukraine, and now, of course, the border. And every time, I think the president has hit rock bottom. He has managed to find a shovel and continue to dig. Hence, this executive order. And I think that's what the American people see. The first question I would ask President Biden is this. It's a little late, isn't it, Mr. President? It's a little late. You can't make...
I want to have one of our episodes just be like
all
continuous
him?
clips
Let's
of
do
stuff
it.
that he says.
Let's do it.
Because he's exactly right, and he says everything that everyone else wants to say.
He is the only one that can get away with it, though.
And he doesn't even have a hint of a smile when he says it. He's just like, he's pulling right up there with fungal infections. And it's just, and like the best is just watching the people behind him. They're probably talking before, like, okay, keep it together. Don't lose it. We don't know what he's going to say.
They can see you.
You're on camera. Oh, it's just too good. But
it really, I mean, but what he says is he kind of just sums it up really short and sweet. And it's just like, yeah, that is what's happening.
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening.
He keeps it real.
And uses these cute little cliches to help him out.
Balance it on your notes.
I would like to follow him around for a whole day.
Oh,
I
my
wonder what that would be like.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
That would be a great episode, just all Senator Kennedy one-liners.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, well.
Okay, I don't think I have anything else.
We can talk about that one next time.
Sharenting. Oh, I totally forgot about this.
Want to do it next one?
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
I just had like I actually have one uplifting clip to close out with, which is progress for me. Usually they're not uplifting.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, we can end it with it, but it's an astronaut, and he's giving a very all-American speech, and it just made you feel like good to be an American.
All right, well,
listening to him.
I mean,
which is something we don't really hear a lot of these days.
We're pretty much at time, so
Yeah.
let's. The only other thing I had was Fetterman. Fetterman, who's becoming my new favorite Democrat, who's just saying all the right things these days. Have you seen
Something
this?
happened. Something came back to him.
Well, no, I think he's recovered. I think he's after the stroke. I think it's finally his brain again
haven't
working.
seen this.
You haven't seen this?
No.
He stood up for Israel and Jewish people.
I have been profoundly disappointed the way Harvard's inability to stand up for the Jewish community.
Absolutely. So he's giving the commencement speech at Harvard.
And for me personally, I do not fundamentally believe that it's right for me to wear this today.
And he's right. It's a disgrace what they've allowed on their campuses.
Yes, it is. Good for him.
Good for him. So I love that he's at Harvard giving the Harvard commencement speech. Oh no, he's at Yeshiva University giving up his Harvard hood. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
That's a big move.
It is a big move.
It's a big move. So my new favorite conservative Democrat over here, Mr. Fetterman, he's been saying a lot of great things lately.
He has, yeah. Like you said, maybe he's
common sense stuff.
fully recovered.
Common sense stuff.
All right. Well, we'll close it out with a little,
inspiration.
Don't forget.
Let's do it.
Where you come from, people.
All right, guys. Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
For everybody listening, just a thought. Sonny and I, as we were traveling to the pad, we saw many American flags, and many of you were waving flags at us. And then as we reached the pad, we look up, and of course there's that American flag on the side of the White Room. Also one on the side of the rocket itself. And we know that that represents unity and resilience and unified efforts for the common good. And that's what Sonny and I have witnessed this last month. Each of you displaying what this nation's forefathers envisioned, a people committed to God, family, and country, a people who use their gifts and talents for the common good, and are passionate and tough. And we all know that when the going gets tough, and it often does, the tough get going. And you have. And Sonny and I are honored to share this dream of spaceflight with each and every one of you. So with that, LC, let's get going. Now let's put some fire in this rocket, and let's push it to the heavens where all these tough Americans have prepared it to be.